of a speech maker, and I'm not a politician. Someone that wants to tell the truth about James. I hope you don't mind me following my notes. I'll never get through this if I don't. I've known the Lindsay family for well over 30 years, and yet I didn't really get to know James, Cameron, or Suzanne until more recently. Mostly because they always worked or lived away from home, unlike Leslie, Juliana, and Justin, who live nearby. I got to know James firstly through sad and unfortunate circumstances, like Mary's passing, and we slowly got to know each other through those circumstances. James, I knew, always had tough jobs, working on drilling rigs in the frozen north, rigs in the boiling deserts of Australia, and when he was in town, he'd find them on roofs. Those jobs make for a rough and tough exterior, but over the past few years, and getting to know him better, firstly as a worker for me, and eventually as a friend, I saw the real person underneath it all. I then understood what a softie he really was, a guy with a really good heart, and a heart in the right place. He started working for me when last November's windstorm took some of my customers' fences down along Uplands Road. What a worker he was. If you pointed to a broken fence post with a concrete footing that needed digging up, he'd grab a shovel and go at it so fast that on several occasions I had to tell him to slow down, even if I was paying him by the hour. He actually looked like my son's golden retriever when he was digging, with grass and soil flying up behind him. He was a human dynamo and a great work ethic. We did 19 post replacements in 1 week. You can't talk about James without mentioning his jokes, but I won't repeat any of his jokes. I will always remember his jokes, which were often quite risque. Risque being a French word that means embarrassing, if anyone should overhear it. And most often he would tell his jokes in the Longwood pub, or occasionally in the well, and not just to the table he was sitting at. It was made worse that he broadcast to anyone that was within the four walls of the establishment, or even the outside patio. If our gym here is known for his super quiet voice, James is known for his foghorn voice. When he started a joke, I'm sure my blood pressure rose to alarming levels, and I always hoped and prayed the jokes would be clean enough for human consumption. And on one or two occasions they were. When our gym took ill last October, I saw the sensitive, all-caring, emotional James that I'd seen once before, but never close up. In the hospital, he was an advocate for Jim's care. Many, many times before leaving Jim's room, I'd see him asked to speak to a doctor or a nurse with questions about his dad, and he wouldn't leave until they were answered to his satisfaction. He would bring in food, and I mean good food, and make sure Jim was eating it. In fact, he'd ask me for a report on the volume of food that Jim was eating, just to make sure he was getting enough. So I had to look through the bins and see what kind of things he'd been eating. He'd wash Jim's face and hands before leaving, brush his hair, tidy up the bedclothes, and leave enough food for that day, and generally be a great son and caregiver in every way. You couldn't ask for more from any one person, and he was so deeply affected by his father's illness. I used to call him Nurse James on many occasions, as he was such a good caregiver. I've seen better looking nurses in my day, and ones with less facial hair, but a nurse he surely was, and he'd never leave a hospital visit without making sure his dad was comfortable. Back in Nanaimo, as his dad got better and better, James made sure Jim's social life picked up where it left off. He took Jim to meet his regular mates at McDonald's, made sure he got to the Longwood every week, every Tuesday, to to meet his other friends, and generally made sure his dad was back in circulation and back to a new normal. I have to laugh when I think of James getting Jimmy into that big old raised truck of his. I've never seen anyone pull out a 5-foot-high ladder to get a passenger into a truck before. He would grab the ladder from the truck box, erect it beside the passenger door, and tell Jim to climb aboard like a guard at a railway station. At home, James would cook for Jim and anyone who was happened to be in the house at that time. And if I was in the neighbourhood, he would often ask me along too. And he always offered you seconds of everything. I could see the look of pleasure as he served up his signature pea and ham soup. And you never felt guilty asking for more as it was his pleasure to do this. I'm sure he learned this from me. As most of us here know, James and the rest of the family made Jim's recent birthday party a really special event. It was special for all of us, where old friends got to meet and share a really special evening around the fires in the backyard. I could tell James was so proud of himself to be healthy and feeling so wanted and needed. He will be sorely missed, but when I think of him, which is often these days, I'm glad he made us all feel better for knowing him and for finding the inner person that he was. To the family, Suzanne, Cameron, Justin, lovely girlfriend Alison, Amber, Juliana, Dave, Brody, Austin, all the family on the island, and all the family on the mainland, and everyone here that knows him, I know he would want to feel sorry for him. And he'd rather that we were happy, went on to live our lives properly. He certainly showed us the way to take care of family, friends, and maybe even how to take care of ourselves we did before. James Lindsay, the worker, the nurse and the caregiver,